One of the things that's been, I guess, derogated a lot by pretty much everybody at the moment is university education. And I had such an interesting time at university, almost exclusively outside of my education, right? All of the good things that happened to me while I spent 5 years at Newcastle didn't include what I was taught. It was never inside of the lecture theatre. It was everything I was doing outside of that. And lots of my friends, it's very trendy on the internet to mock higher education as useless pieces of paper. It's not, you don't need it in order to be able to be successful. It's certainly the thing that I've ended up doing. This podcast didn't require me to go to university. Maybe in some ways it did, but also definitely from a qualification perspective, it didn't. But I think I'm still relatively pro university experience. And yeah, you've got Peterson Academy launching, which is your new thing. I wondered how you thought, well, basically, are universities salvageable given that so much that's good about the university experience has almost nothing to do with the education side of it?
Are they salvageable? Some are, I imagine. Hillsdale does great.
What's that?
It's a conservative college in northeastern U.S. run by Larry Arnn. They have a 1% dropout rate as opposed to the typical 50% dropout rate. And they provide a classical, what used to be a liberal education, liberal arts education. It's a more conservative enterprise given how the Overton window has shifted. But Larry's students concentrate on physical fitness. His philosophy department tends to meet in the weight room, which is pretty interesting. He has weight benches scattered all around the campus. About a third of the students take music courses, so the place is very musical. It's a very disciplined place. The quality of education is extremely high. So there are institutes that are holding to their mandate. I think that's rare. And I think overall, the universities have become irretrievably corrupt, as far as I can tell. And so we had hoped that we could provide something approximating an alternative, but you put your finger on one of the complexities in doing that. It's easy to think that a university is the transmission of knowledge from experts to empty vessels, the students, let's say. So it's lectures, tests, and accreditation. But that's not really what a university is. It's an apprenticeship. If you're fortunate when you go to university, you find a professor or two that you can work with who really teach you how to think. Those professors are generally quite rare, and you're fortunate if you do establish a relationship like that, especially at a big university where the student to faculty ratio is absurdly high, like 200 to 1.
I was in lecture theaters that were 300 to 1. Yeah,
right.
I didn't get a relationship like that with any of my...
Right. And that's really not good, because you need an apprenticeship relationship to become educated fundamentally. We started this, we're formulating Peterson Academy. We're hoping that we can provide people with extremely high quality lectures. I'm fortunate, as you are, to be able to reach out to people who are charismatic and well educated, and we offer them a good financial deal, and we treat them very well, and they come down to Miami and they record a relatively short lecture series, 8 hours, and we're implementing state-of-the-art testing procedures, and we're going to be giving out a certificate that you will have to earn to acquire. And so we're hoping that the quality of our graduates will be such that the certificate will speak for itself as a marker for conscientiousness and educated expertise. We'll see. We're also building out the social side of it because, as you pointed out, a huge part of what happens to you when you go to university is social and socialization. You get to make a whole new group of friends. It's a big deal, right? It's one of those times in your life where you can parcel off who you were and you can become something new.
Well, you remember every single summer, at least for me, maybe this was because I was chronically so unpopular in school, I would come back every summer imagining that I would be able to reinvent myself. I'm going to be the cool kid this year. I'm going to be the sporty kid this year, or whatever.
Right.
But the big one is age 18, because you're not even in the same town. No one even knows who you are. No one even knows what to think about who you are.
Right.
And that for me was the big inflection point of me going from the child that I was to the sort of young adult that I was going to end up.
Right. Well, if you're fortunate, you have a number of times where that happens in your life, where you can make a relatively clean break and you can invent yourself anew.